Hello there, I was busy doing something else. Sorry about that. You'll see what I'm doing in a minute. Okay. Yes, welcome to my channel, New Beginnings, my everyday life in rural Cyprus. And today I've titled it Share Your Channel on My Fun Live. And what I'm going to do to start with today is read some of the comments from, that's what I'm doing, I was setting my phone up, sharing some comments. And so we're going to do that and shout out channels on recent comments. And the first one I've pulled up is my video that I've just posted, and the comment is from Scully Pop. Good show tonight. So that was the first comment on my new video, which is about my Workaway volunteers. So go and check that out. It's introducing them. I make them always do a little bit to camera, introducing themselves, so they say whatever they want, and then their first jobs that they did while they were volunteering here for me. Okay, let's go over to my chat. Hey, we have Steve and Tina here. How are you doing, Steve? I hope you're on the mend. Do let me know what's going on. And guys, do go and check out Steve and Tina Jules' channel. I've just gone and watched Tina making carrot cake. So go and check that out. And while you're over there, don't forget to subscribe. So let's have a look. Steve says all good. I hope you are, my friend. I really do hope you are. Okay, let's look at another one. Let's go down a few videos. Let's go to growing fruit trees from Fruit Stones. And let's randomly pick that one out and give a channel shout out to the top commenters on that one. The first comment was from the channel at Ability to Be Awesome. And she says, thanks for sharing this information. I should read my return comments back. I put, I'm going to be growing many more new fruit trees this season. That was my reply there. We've also got Yetahar-H1F. And she says, beautiful video. I enjoyed that video. And I replied, glad you enjoyed it. Thanks for dropping a comment. So it gives you some idea of the sort of replies you'll get. You'll always get a reply from me. I spent a lot of time translating my comments. Okay, let's go back to the chat. Oh, we have Nunya, Texas on the back 20, and I've just watched the video there. You'll see I dropped you a comment. It's one of Jake's random just chat says his views, which are always very interesting. So go and check that out, particularly if you're American, you probably find that quite interesting. So do go and check out Nunya, Texas on the back 20. And as I always say, while you're there, why not subscribe? Okay, then I've got another comment I'm going to read out on my channel from Squirrels World. And Shirley says, I just popped a pear seed. My apple tree is tiny but growing. And I replied, we'll visit again soon. Limited internet for now, just enough to do my posts and lives. So that's that was back a little bit, that one, when I had to save my internet for my volunteers. Steve's done a link to Nunya, Texas on the back 20. Jake says, yes, I saw it. Thanks. No problem. No problem at all. Okay, let's have another look at a comment on my channel. Let's change videos because I just do the top comments normally. So let me just, let's do a random scroll. Oh, let's do my 5K video giveaway. And that closes, I'll remind you, on the 25th of November. So if you were going to enter, you need to email your answers before the 25th of November. And then I did do today new quote corners, because as I said, one of the answers is what Wednesday's quote corner is, what is the quote. So I can't change it till the closing date of that. So I have made them today. I've got new ones. Okay, so this comment is from Squirrels Magnet Fishing Outdoors. And this was, as I say, from the 5K video. It was my questions for you to answer. And Squirrels Magnet Fishing Outdoors says, awesome question for your giveaway. Great video. Thanks for sharing. Will not enter for the giveaway, but showing my support. And I put thanks for your support. And let's do one more and then we'll go on to something else for now, but I will go back to comments further in the video. Ability to be awesome was back again and says the questions, this is so fun. And I put, she carries on the conversation in the reply. She put the caption on question 3 is incomplete. Not sure what the question was. Sorry, I'm deaf. So the captions didn't all come up. So I wrote it out. Question 3. And I wrote out what the question was. You have to see the video if you want to know the questions. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so what should we do first? Let's do... What day is it? Monday. Let's do a bit of this. Okay, so today's Knacks, Hacks, Facts and Stats. I thought we'd do snack for hacks, a snack hack. So I've got 4 for you today. The first one is prepare a savoury pancake mix and divide it into 2 bowls. Add grated potato to one and chop mushrooms to the other. Add herbs to both and season with garlic, salt and pepper. Fry in hot fat to make a perfect accompaniment for any meal. I can see my hair sticking up. Okay, I was going to say question 2 then, but snack number 2. Poach haddock or cod fillets in milk. Drain. Cover with a mixture of a packet of crushed crisp, that's potato chips to some of you, and grated cheese. Bake in the oven for a few minutes. Number 3. Liven up a can of ordinary baked beans by adding 1 teaspoon, 5 grams each of dry mustard and brown sugar and 1 tablespoon, 20 mils of vinegar. Interesting. And the last one, fry a large sliced onion until tender. Add to a can of beans in an oven-proof dish. Cover with layers of grated cheese, mashed potato and more cheese. Bake in a moderate oven for 15 minutes. So they are my Knacks, Hacks, Facts and Stacks of stacks. Okay, let's go on to this. Okay, don't you hate it when your phone turns round when you haven't even touched it? Okay, this one is, a bishop decided to see how a certain lay reader at a church in his area was getting on. So, by prior arrangement with the vicar, he attended the church for a Sunday service. The service went well, and towards the end of his address, the lay reader leant forward in the pulpit and said, "My brethren, I want you to know that some of my happiest moments of my life have been spent in the arms of another man's wife. He quickly spotted the congregation was shocked, so he added, I am, of course, referring to my mother. Sighs of relief from the congregation. The bishop thought this was wonderful and told the vicar it was just what he wanted for his address to the Women's Guild in his cathedral in 2 weeks' time. A fortnight later, his cathedral was packed with these women. The service went well, and when he was about halfway through his address, the bishop said to himself, now's the time to throw that in. So he leant forward in the pulpit and he said, my sisters, I want you to know that some of the happiest moments of my life have been spent in the arms of another man's wife. All the women were taken back, shocked. The atmosphere was cold. The bishop stood there with a glassy stare in his eyes. After a few minutes, he leant further forward and said, but for the life of me, I can't remember who she was. I think that's a great time to go to Quote Corner. Yes, I hope you enjoyed that. Steve's laughing. Okay, continuing with our themes for Monday. Let's do a bit of this. Well, I haven't shared my embroidery with you for a while. My cross stitch I share with you on Wednesdays, but running parallel to that, I've been doing an experiment before my crafting friends watch this and sit with their mouth aghast. This is an experiment. Now, I did a cross stitch one time, if you've seen my Flintstones bag, and I did my own design. Oh, it's saying that someone's watching me. Yes, I should hope so. Thank you. Someone's using your camera. Yes, thank you. I did for my Flintstones bag, I made the patterns on just paper, squared paper, and then I pinned that onto the bag. This was for cross stitch. And then I just cross stitched over it. Being a bag, it didn't matter if there was a little bit left behind, but you can always pull it out with a pin. But as you cross stitch all the way across, the paper does kind of come out anyway, because it can't take, you keep putting like the sewing needle through. So I thought I'm going to try that same idea for embroidery. So I found a picture I quite like the look of. I put it in a hoop, and then I started doing embroidery over the paper. That doesn't work so well because you can't make the neat edges because you can't see where you're going. So I got to a certain point and I thought it looks really untidy, but you can't see till the paper's away. I need to remove the paper. So I've removed the paper, but I forgot that prior to putting the picture on the material, pinning it or put it on under the hoop, I had tried to trace and draw on the material. So now I've taken the paper off, I've still got the random drawing underneath that isn't in the right place to where I pinned the picture. And it was only a pencil, and I tried to rub it out, but you can still see it. But I've started embroidering now. You'll see the untidy bit of embroidery is the bit that I was doing over the paper, but now I'm embroidering, so I will go back and neaten that bit up. But you'll also see the pencil outlines. All this means is I've now got to cover all the material where I've got pencil lines, but I have a plan for that. I don't think I'm going to embroider all of it. I've got another experiment. So this is it without now the paper. It'll take a second for the light to sort itself out. So you'll see the untidy bit is this bit here, and there's this bit here is the untidy bit that I'd done prior to taking the paper off. But you can see the very top part is as it will be. But can you see the pencil marks? I'm not going to show you any closer. It's a right mess. So I've got to do something else all on the background, whereas I was just going to embroider. I wasn't even going to embroider this bit. But now I've got to do that. That's got marks as well. But I've got an idea. As I say, this is only the second thing I've embroidered. I've already tried to make my own ideas and experiments. They don't always work, but hey, that's half the fun, and how you find a new way of doing things. But yes, I can't get the pencil marks out at all. I've tried, it just makes a right mess. So I have a plan. But for now, I'm just going to do the chairs, embroider those first, and then I'll go from there. So yet another experiment. Hey, if you don't try something, you never know, a different method of doing things. Steve says, Dawn should have a jack for removing pencil marks. A hack. Dawn should have a hack. Yes, I think it's the type of material as well. But as I say, I'm not actually going to remove them now because that's pretty impossible. I'm going to have another plan what I'm going to do on top, because it'd be too much to embroider all of that, far too much. Okay, let's read some comments. This one, I don't know where I got up to when I was doing comment readings the other day, because I was going a bit random. But let's see, this one is from my horses, chickens, turkey, goat, whatever video. And this is Jeannie's Kitchen 2607. And she says, I love his braids. I think I did read this one out because I was saying one of the horses has all its hair braided. I love his braids, so cute. I love horses and all animals, but this is wonderful. I love your channel. So, yeah, we did read that one. Let's go a bit more wild. Let's go back quite a few. Let's just scroll. Let's do this one. This is even more of salvage of dumped items. Let's have a look. Oh, I don't want to remix it. I want to read the comments. This is from TX Jan, Texas Jan. TX Jan 0057, and she says you need a reacher and a hook for those deep skips. I used to have a shelf for a greenhouse. I used 2 shower curtains for the cover, and it did pretty well. I took the plastic off before we got into any real heat. I really like the way you use those containers for drawers. And I replied, shower curtains, great idea. I always love new ideas. Now perhaps I will be lucky and find a grabber actually at the dump. That would be so funny. That certainly would be funny. And then this comment is from Miss Red Umbrella. I'm interested about your off-grid living. Is it easy in Cyprus? I'm in the UK. And I replied, your best way to see if this life is for you is to volunteer here and stay with us. We have helped many to relocate here, finding what suits each person's needs. We have very little money, but we live well, as off-grid, once set up, is very affordable. If you have any specific questions, I will be more than happy to help. So that's some comments for now. What shall we do now? We've done quote corner, haven't we? I've still got that out. Let's have a look. For our theme today, let's do this. Now, today I thought I would do something I don't often do when I talk about gardening, and that's talk about flowers. Now, I do talk about wild flowers a lot, but actual specific flowers. So I'm going to do three. Let's do three. Three flowers from my flower book. The first one I have heard many different pronunciations of. In England, we say dahlias, but many people say dahlias, or very similar to that, my Australian friends, I think they say dahlias as well, but I say dahlia. These grow to a height of 2 meters, which is 6 foot. It comes from Mexico and Guatemala. It's the ideal garden plant if you have the means to water it and the energy to dig up the tubers in the autumn and to prepare the ground thoroughly when you plant them out again in the spring. There are now several dwarf kinds that you can grow from seed. Most of them can be left in the ground over winter, provided that the ground is not waterlogged and that the weeds are kept under control. They like a fairly rich soil, so give a light application of any fertiliser low in nitrogen in the spring as they start into growth, and again as the flower buds show around midsummer. So that's the first of three flowers I'm going to do today. We have two Doves, Bees and Gardens here. Good morning, Dawn and crew. We're out in California checking in on our parents. It's a long drive. And there's a link for Steve and Tina has just done. How's the weather in California, says Steve. So guys, do go and check out Two Doves, Bees and Gardens. And if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button while you're there. The second flower we're going to talk about is a freesia. Height 250 millimeters, which is 12 inches. And it says, gone are the days when freesias used to bear beautifully formed, small creamy flowers with exquisite fragrance. They have now become large, sometimes double, rather blowsy flowers in a wide range of not so attractive colours, and they have nearly lost the delightful smell that was once their greatest asset. The old semi-wild variety self-seeded with abandon. The new sorts seem less prodigal, all like rich, gritty, open soil, moist during the winter, but as the foliage yellows after flowering, almost dying out for the summer. Oh dear. We have BC Treasure Trails. Nice to see you. And guys, go and check out BC Treasure Trails. Two feet of snow here over the last 3 days. Good grief. Good grief. Winter has come. You have winter, my friend. Goodness. Okay, the last flower we're going to do is iris. Irises are broadly divided into those that grow from rhizomes and those that grow from bulbs. One of the most fundamental principles to observe when growing most members of this beautiful and diverse genus is to let the bulb or rhizome dry up and remain dormant. Watering during this period is prejudicial to many and even fatal to some. The rhizomes should be planted to lie on the surface of the soil. The most popular members of this group are the tall bearded irises, from which modern breeding has produced large spectacular flowers in almost every colour and combination of colours. Hot, dry summers suit them and they're easy to grow. Some varieties may reach 1 metre, 3 feet tall. Their leaves and flowering stalks can be cut back to the ground after flowering. A major drawback, apart from a rather short season of bloom, is that the beds can quickly become infested with weeds, which has a habit of creeping amongst iris beds from the lawn. Every few years you must dig up the rhizomes in the autumn and clean the beds before replacing them. Of these types, you may like to try some of the following, and then it's got different types, many different types there of types you can grow. Okay, let's just check the chat. Two Doves Bees and Gardens says snow is pretty as long as I can watch it on TV. Yes, definitely. And I like undisturbed snow before anyone's walked on it. Two Doves Bees and Gardens say I'm to the point of preferring snow to blazing heat. No, give me heat anytime. Give me heat anytime. I will gladly take the heat over cold. Yes, I don't go out in rain and Mike doesn't go out in cold. Okay, let's look at some more comments on my channel. Give some shout outs. Let's go on to this one. This one is a drive with views to the dump and recycle and find frugal finds. I have trouble with my F's. Frugal finds. Okay, the first comment on this video was the NDT show. Finding the best combinations, nice drive out with views. And I put, glad you enjoyed it. See more of what I salvaged in part 2. The next comment was from G Quat Traditions with ZS. I love that, driving around, dumping stuff and finding stuff. And I replied, yes, love it. Thanks for your continued support to my channel. Much appreciated. And she returned with, I watch almost all the shorts from my TV. I can't get back to all of them, but I leave a message when I can. Let's do another comment from there. Scully Pop, hey Cyprus. And I replied, Mr. Scully. That's Jay. Oh, I've just popped out of that. Let's come back to comments. The next comment is Buster Boo 56. And she says, at the end of the video, I couldn't help notice there was a dog there. Do folks dump their dogs there? And I put, no, the dog belongs to the man working there at the gate, whose job it is to check what you bring into the dump and take your car registration number. The dog is collared and chipped, as most dogs here are. Big penalties here otherwise. Cats seem to be more of a problem here if cats have kittens, and sadly dump dogs are from the British military who are stationed here a short time, get the dog here and then dump them when leaving the island. That's because they don't want to pay to take them back. I think there should be a thing, they're only here 2 years and a bit, and it should be that they just can't get a dog when they're here. It's a very short time. There's loads of stray dogs. Steve says, seems frost is about in the middle. BC Treasure Trail says, I prefer snow over rain. Yeah, I'll go with that one. I would prefer snow to rain. Yes, pretty snow. It's okay if you don't have to go to work, I guess, isn't it? If you don't have to go to work, we're not so bothered about the about it. Okay, let's do one more set of comments. Let's go randomly on a video. Let's see what we've got for the comments. I'm just whirring. Okay, comment. Let's do one comment from this video. Oh, NDT show again. This was on composting. Great information here on what items to use for composting. And I just put, glad it was helpful. More to follow in my Making Your Own Compost series. So that's some of my shout outs for today. I think that's a fairer way of doing shout outs, much fairer way. So if you want a shout out, drop some comments and you're very likely to be picked in my random going through my videos. BC Treasure Trails says, yes, you can't drive tugboats in 6 feet of ice. Stephen Tina Jules say, I can see snow from my couch on the mountain in the distance. Well, you know, we're partially up a mountain. We will never get snow here, even though we're up. We're too far down. But the very top, we can sometimes see snow if it comes over this side, over the peak. But it's nowhere near us. But because we're like sheer mountain edge, you can see the snow. So yeah, it can stay there. We've never been up to see the snow. We've never been up to see the snow. We don't get every year on the top of the mountains. You can watch it on like a camera. You can see, because people keep watch to see if they can go up and do skiing or anything. So yeah, people can go up there. Okay, what should we do now? Let's do, I'm on the wrong pagey. Let's do a little bit of this. It would help if I actually had it, wouldn't it? I've got a lot going on in my head at the moment. Steve say, yes, I hope it stays there. Okay, so we're going to read a little bit more from the bird book. And this is economical feeding. We've been talking a lot about feeding birds and wildlife. That's all very well if you can afford to spend that little bit extra for the animals. So we're going to talk about economical feeding today. And it says, putting yourself in the position of a bird trying to feed economically is a useful means of understanding the way it behaves. Within the limits of its bill size, toe structure and other physical characteristics, as well as its acrobatic and aerobatic abilities, a bird chooses the best food available. As a rule, birds behave sensibly and try to get the most nutrition for the least effort. Their objective is clear when impressed in financial terms. A bird's aim in life is to make a good living, earning the best income, food, for the least expenditure, energy spent getting the food. A healthy surplus, which is stored as fat, creates a reserve for a rainy day and the capital to spend on events like breeding and migration. Bird tables are popular because they provide an easier living than searching looking for natural foods. Within the broad range of its diet, a bird selects the food that is easiest to obtain. Bullfinches prefer the seeds of ash, bramble, dock, or nettle. Only when these crops are exhausted towards the end of winter will you see them descending upon orchards and devastating the fruit trees by pecking off 30 or more buds per minute. The time the bullfinch spends on this destructive activity depends on how much other food it can find. The fruit grower curses the bullfinch, but stripping buds is its last resort. Buds contain so little sustenance that a bullfinch has to consume large amounts of them just to stay alive. You're most likely to see odd feeding habits when the staple diet is in short supply. For instance, if desperately hungry, fieldfares will attack turnips, and during dry spells, blackbirds feed their nestlings on crust of white bread because they cannot find worms. Similarly, song thrushes usually open snails only as an emergency ration in times of frost or drought because smashing shells requires a lot of effort. The operation becomes even more tedious when blackbirds spot an easy meal and steal the results of the song thrush's hard work. The flexible rules of birds' economics are best demonstrated by the spotted flycatcher when hawking above a garden lawn. It waits on a perch and flies out in sorties to catch insects on the wing. As it depletes the insects within range of one perch, the flycatcher moves on to the next and works its way round the garden. When insects are in abundance, the flycatcher's preference is for nourishing flies of bluebottle size because they are easily caught and easily swallowed. Butterflies and bees are ignored. Although they make a larger meal, they take more time to deal with. At the other end of the scale, tiny midges and mosquitoes are swallowed without trouble, but a lot of energy-consuming trips are needed to gather enough for a satisfying meal. The flycatcher will switch to a different prey if circumstances change. When it comes across lots of butterflies feeding on flowers, it picks them off with ease. Or, if it finds a swarm of midges, it quickly snaps up several of them before returning to its perch. In both instances, it is seizing the opportunity of an effortless meal. And the last bit we're going to read today is hoarding. One way to avoid going hungry is to save some food when there's surplus, like depositing hard-earned money in a bank. Sometimes you may find peanuts and sunflower seeds disappearing from the bird table more quickly than you would expect from the number of birds feeding on it. This is because some birds are carrying them away to hide. The coal tit, marsh tit, and nuthatch are the common hoarders and carry off fragments of peanuts from the bird feeder to wedge in crevices in the rough bark. They often take the food so far away you cannot see where it is hidden. Food is hoarded when it is abundant, as in autumn or at a bird feeder. Nuts are frequently hidden because they're nutritious and keep well, but tits also store insects, and members of the crow family bury bread, meat and other scraps. I didn't know that. Hidden food may be left for weeks before the owner returns to claim it. The bird apparently remembers the exact location by reference to a nearby landmark. Jays can even recover buried acorns from under deep layers of snow. Hoards are a useful emergency store against temporary hard times, but the two nutcracker species of Northern Europe and America depend on hazelnuts stored in autumn for winter survival and for raising their young in spring. So I've learnt something else today as well. So we learnt about the robins. If you wasn't listening last week, we found that robins were the birds that wake up first and go to bed last. So they're really good birds. And the laziest birds we weren't surprised by were pigeons. Okay, let's check the chat. I see there's a lot of chat been going on. Stitching it up, capturing country life. I've been watching a couple of your videos today. Thank you for being here, much appreciated. And guys, do go and check out Stitching It Up, Capturing Country Life. And as I always say, if you like what you see when you're there, please hit the subscribe button. Okie dokie. I was reading the chat. It's like, what was I doing? Chat. Where are we? I was there saying hello. Steve's dropped the link. Thank you, Steve. You're a great moderator. I've heard from my other great moderator. Me and Blue did a private chat the other day. So to let you all know, she's doing well. It's raining. Stitch it up. It's like snow, but it's raining there. Steve says, welcome to shovel snow off my drive. I wouldn't mind if you had one of those like snow plough things or just a scoopy thing. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Frosty today, clear skies. Never on my land. I've never been to Canada. I've never been to Canada. It does look awesome, some of the scenery, and that's one of the things I like best about Steve's channel. I love to see the scenery and the lakes and the forest. I do like that. I do love to see people's videos where they live, and if you want to see more of my actual location, like right here, rather than my country or my area, if you want to see right where I live, do check out on this channel my walks videos. I've got a playlist of, I think it's something about my mountainside walks or walks near my home, something like that, but it's got the word walks and mountain in it. So do check out my playlist. Each walk is different, but they are all right here, right by here, and there's some fantastic footage coming up as well. Steve has a snow blaster. Well, of course you do. Of course you do. I think that's pretty necessary, isn't it? Pretty necessary there. Stitching it up, capturing country life. Says a snowblower, probably easier than shovel. I'm guessing it's heavy. Yes. Okay, let's move on. What have we not done yet today? Let's do this. So this is where I share with you what's been going on my channels. Steve's done a nice link there. Ooh, nice. So this is where I share what's on my channel. So we'll start first of all what's been going on this channel, Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. And that will confuse people if they click on now. They think, oh, I'm on the wrong channel. Okay, so today I posted another episode of how to fold napkins. If you're interested in having some fancy napkins for your Christmas dinner or just for fun, it's a good hobby. This is episode 8, so there are 7 more, and the rest of them are in the playlist of something like craft and hobby ideas. That's where you'll find the rest of them. I think I did actually link the other ones, parts 1 to 7, under that actual video today, so you can find them there more easily. So this one has 3 different folds in it, and you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. You can do it. They're not complicated. It's not origami, and I show you very simply how to do it, and I do it slowly because it takes me time to do things. So if I can do them, you can do them. And I'm not one of these YouTubers, oh, it went a bit wrong, I'll do it again or refilm it. You get it as it is. That's me following the instructions and doing it. So we're not here for perfection. We're here for showing you realistically how hard or easy it is. And as I say, if I do them, then so do look at that one. And prior to that was unboxing, craft and embroidery haul. So this is on this channel here, Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. So that's 2 videos back, unboxing, craft and embroidery haul. Now I would tell you a funny thing that I think I said at the beginning of the video. It was an auction lot win, and I was bidding on a lot that I didn't want. It wasn't a mistake. I knew what I was doing, and so I bought a lot that I didn't want. And if you're like, what's that all about? Well, you'll have to watch the video. I do explain, and you'll see straight away why I bid on it. It wasn't for anybody else. It was for me. So, why did you bid on something you didn't want? Well, you'll see. It's explained, and you'll be like, oh, get it. And then one prior to that was another one of my old newspapers, and this one is a more modern newspaper than a lot of the ones I have. I have some from the 1920s that I'm selling, but this was from Friday the 6th of December 1985, and the reason I had that more modern newspaper was because that was my 21st birthday. So I go through in the video looking through the paper, so if you're interested in English adverts in newspapers and what was happening in history there, then you will see that there in the video, because I do go through all the newspaper. Okay, let me check the comments. Stitching it up says fun. I'll watch the napkin folding. Yeah. As I say, there's 7 more episodes. They're all linked under that one. So if you enjoy it, then you might enjoy the others as well. They're all different folds. I think the first episode explains about folding napkins, so what type of napkins you'll need, what size, and so on and so forth. So if you're going to do it properly, you need to watch the first episode that explains it a little bit more. Hey, we have Squirrels Magnet Fishing and Outdoors here. Hello, New Beginnings. Can't stay long. Want to show you my support to you. Give you the thumbs up. Guys, you need to, I can't remember if it was I think it was a video, not short. Yes, it was a video. And Squirrels Magnet Fishing and Outdoors has dressed up, and oh, he looks handsome in this outfit. I'm not going to tell you about it. You need to go and have a look there. Oh, you look so handsome in that outfit. That was really cool. So guys, do go over and check out that channel. As I always say, if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button. Stitch Up says, are they flags on your shirt? This is a sweatshirt, and this was someone else's sweatshirt that I borrowed. They are flags. It says Aero Express, Aéroport du Bourget, Paris, France. That's what it says. So these must be all the countries they fly to and from. It's not mine. I like big baggy sweatshirts, big baggy ones. This is the season. The more messy they look, more like slouchy, the more I enjoy them. You'll see this comes on a lot because I'm at that weather when it can be very warm during the day here, but then it's like, what time is it now? It's 6:30 in the evening now, and if you sit for a while you start to feel a bit chilly, bit cooled down. So I always throw a little sweatshirt or top on just before I do a live, so I don't sit here starting to get cold. So if you keep seeing the same top again and again and again, I wear it for the live, then I'll take it off and leave it on my chair. The next time I do a live, I might throw that one on again. I do sometimes worry and think people think I just wear the same clothes all the time. So yeah. Okay, so let's talk about what's been posted on this channel. You've got the hurricane footage coming soon because I've just scheduled it, but it's not up yet. What are we on Monday? So today, Wednesday, Monday. Oh yes, today's video was our Workaway volunteers, introducing them and their first jobs. So that is really awesome. I did talk a little bit about that earlier. So our Workaway volunteers, really lovely people, and you've got lots of videos coming up with them in, but I've tried to put other things in between. And then on Wednesday, I have got my video of me picking my 86 olive trees. Now this year the volunteers did a few trees as well with me, but always they are me handpicking all the trees. Yes. Then I go around pruning them all. I'm not pruning them this year. I'm going to take some of the bottoms off, but I'm not pruning them this year. This says comfy. Yes, that's what I go for, comfort. And then the previous video, if you haven't seen it yet, is goats, cats, seeds, vertical growing wall, frugal labels, herbs and more. So a right old mixture of my garden. And then the next episode coming up after the picking the olive ones is lots happening in my garden. Huge radish. I think I use that for the thumbnail. So if you see something peculiar on my thumbnail, it's the large radish. Gardening tips. I keep throwing little gardening tips in my garden videos where I'm showing you my garden. I'll suddenly come out with a gardening tip and a garden tour, basically catching you up on what's going on. I've just started my indoor garden and my bottle farm again, so that will be coming up. If you don't know what my bottle farm is, stay tuned or look back through old videos. I do it every year, growing in the great big water bottles like the ones you have in offices that you have upside down. And I have a whole bottle farm. It's expanded this year, my bottle farm. It's yes, there's more. And then I also do indoor growing. I do that as well. So you've got all that coming up. But now I think it is time to do a little bit of this. So what is pastimes? Pastimes, well, of course, they used to play games. So it's game time. We're going to play some games. Stitching it up, capturing country life says, I'm growing squash and tomatoes. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Very good staple foods that can be used in so many different ways. Okay, so I've got really lost as to what ones we played of this and what ones we haven't. So forgive me if we've done them before. If you haven't played this before, I get a card. I can't read the answers on it because it's in funny thing. And to read it, you have to put it in here. There are 10 answers to find on the card. And we have to come up, try and figure out what those 10 answers are and see then if we've got all the 10 that are on the card. Game time, yay. Squirrels talking about the uniform. Thank you for viewing my post in my blue uniform. Much appreciate it. You look handsome. You really suit a suit. You really do. Okay, so today's first one is, this light takes a second to, oh, I know what I did before. I turned the light down a bit, actually helped. There, let's see if that helps. Yes. Women's jewellery. So there's 10 items of women's jewellery there, and between us we have to see if we can guess all the 10 before we get fed up or can't come up with any more answers, and then we look on the card for the answers. So in the chat, if you're here, put in any answers you can think of women's jewellery. If you're watching this back later, shout out at your screen or your phone. If you're on the bus, start shouting out random words and see if you could get ones that we don't get live. Okay, women's jewellery. So we have rings, earrings. Ring says stitching it up. Wedding ring says Steve. Earrings. Bracelet says stitching it up. While you're all typing, I'll talk about my earrings. I have 2 on this side, 2 here, top and the bottom here. Walk this way, 2. And then this side, I have 2 at the bottom to match, Then I have one here and one here. This one didn't hurt at all. This one I have to wear every now and then, or else it likes to close up here. But this is my favourite one, to have one here. And I was never allowed to have pierced ears. So this is the trouble when you get told you can't do something when you're feral. When you're feral, you do the things you weren't allowed to do. We have stitching it up says necklace, stitch it up says bracelet, stitch it up says toe ring. Steve says nose studs, stitching it up says nose ring, stitch it up says anklet. Goddess Ganja Nana, your mama. Hello to you. Nice to see you here. How are you doing? Guys, go and check out the channel. Give your support and your love by hitting the subscribe button. Hey. And she says anklet. And hi, Dawn. Hi to you, my friend. We haven't spoken for a while. What other jewelry? What other jewelry is it? Oh, they're going to be very specific rings and things. Like engagement ring, eternity ring. I have the set of three. I have the set of three because I'm loved. Ooh, nipple ring, says Steve. Trust you. Yeah, then you get your nose ring. Oh, stitch it up said nose ring. Stitch it up says if it's from past, I guess some of these aren't from past. What about wristwatch? That is a wristwatch. Oh, that sounds a funny thing to say now. Mother's ring, headband. There's the link to Ganja Nana, your mama. I always have trouble saying your channel name. Other jewelry is it? What about cufflinks? Do they count those as jewelry? Oh, that's a man though, isn't it? It said women, didn't it? Yeah, women's jewelry. Because I was thinking like pocket watch. What about like a nurse's watch? Would that be different? And then is there going to be different types of necklaces, like a cross, pearl necklace? Chastity pearl. My goodness. What else is there? Like a dress ring. I wouldn't laugh, Goddess. Don't encourage him. Yeah, pearl necklace. I'm getting stuck now. Should we look at the answers? Let's look at the answers. I never know if your fingers are tired of typing or whether we haven't got any more answers. I just take my little magnifying glass. Oh, we haven't played I Spy for a while. Okay, bracelet, we got that. Necklace, we got that. Earrings, we got that. Watch, we got that. Ankle chain, we got that. Ooh, brooch. Brooch, graduation ring, says Alyssa. Brooch we didn't get. Tiara. Won't really call it jewelry. Rings. Pendant. And choker. We did well. We did very good on that one. We did good between us. Yeah, brooch, I would say we should have got brooch. We didn't think of brooch, did we? Okay, let's see if we can find another one. Let's have a look. Oh, can't get one out. I just randomly pulled them out and then I don't know what we've done. Okay, let's try this one. Authority figures. Authority figures. Authority figures. Authority figures. What can you come up with? Authority figures. Wife, says Steve. I bet that's on there, actually. Oh, I love it. I'm glad you know that is the authority, Steve. King says goddess, yes. Policeman says stitching it, yes. Yes. So queen then. Parliament, would you say parliament? Queen, says Steve. Right, government. President. What about, who's the leader of the mob? The Godfather. Prime Minister, says Steve. Government, says stitching. Queen, says Steve. What about teachers? I know that's a bit dependent these days. What about vicar? Vicar, perhaps. Preacher, says goddess. Mayor, says stitching. That's a good one. Our mayors are called muktars. Goddess will know that. Muktars. Parents. Duh. Parents. Parents. Parents, teachers. And we come, says Steve. That's good, Steve. Game warden. To stitch him. Goddess, stop laughing at him. She's so encouraging. Oh, whoever's in charge of pressing that button. Military. Grandparents, says stitching. Authority. Older people, as in general, the older generation. Traffic wardens. Prison warden, that's a good one, stitching. That'd be called stitching. Alyssa. I tend to try not to call you by your names because then I can keep saying your channel names. That's why mostly I don't. Steve, I call Steve because his channel's Steve. Steve and Tina Jewel. I try not to use your names. Shall we look? Shall we look at the answers? Let's look at the answers. Okay, policeman, we got that. Teacher, we got that. Traffic warden, we got that. Priest, we got that. Maitre d'. Team captain. Oh, that's a good one. We didn't get that one. Mayor, we got that. Referee, we didn't get that one. Parents, we got that. Oh, judge, we didn't get that. Oh, I think we missed some big ones. Missed some big ones there. So we missed out judge, referee, team captain, maitre d'. Yeah, maitre d', I guess so, but I don't think we would have thought of that one really, would we? Lisa says, I watch Prison Break. Should we do one more? Let's do one more. Time's got on. I know some of you have to go. Double something. Double something. My grandkids is stitching it up. They are bossy. Oh my goodness. Double something. Now it can be more than one word. We found this before. It doesn't have to be one word. It can be several words. Double or nothing, says Steve, giving you a good example. Double or quits. Double money, says Goddess Ganjanana, your mama. Double trouble, says Steve and Tina Jewel. Double trouble. Double bluff. Double jointed. Ooh, double jointed. Double mint gum, says Stitching It Up, Capturing Country Life. Double down, says Steve and Tina Jewell. Yeah, double or nothing. That's a good one, Steve. Double date. Is it double date? Yeah, double date. Double date, says New Beginnings, My Everyday Life in Rural Cyprus. Double trouble, yeah, Stitching It Up, Capturing Country Life, got that one. Said double blow, when two things go wrong, double blow. Goddess Ganja Nana, your mama, says double it up. Double deal, is it double deal? Double dealings, double doings, double. Keep thinking on the double, but it's got to be after. Double. Try to think of like betting or gambling or playing cards. Is there something? What? Double top, says Mike from Olive Farm Retreat, Cyprus. Huh? In darts. Oh yes, double tops in darts. That's it. Shall we look at the answers? I think this one was a bit harder, although you've got quite a lot. Let's have a look. Double agent. Oh, we should have got that. Double Starbucks, says Steve. Steve doesn't like Starbucks. Double indemnity. Oh my goodness. Oh, double Dutch, Steve's just come up with. That's a good one, Steve. Double barreled. Double talk. Double glazing. Double base. Double entry. Not really sure about that. Starbucks. Oh, good one. Yeah, double Dutch is good. Double declutch. Double cross. Should have got that one. Oh, double Dutch. That's the one that we've just had from Steve. So that one was there. That was worth that little last minute thinking there. Good. Well done. Well, I've had a lovely time. I'd like to go on, but time's getting on here. And need to spend evening with husband. So thank you so much for being here. There's been quite a few of you in and out today, mostly in, which is a delight. So I'm going to finish there today. I've had a really good time with you all. Thanks still to everyone in the chat, says Steve and Tina. It's been lovely to see some of you that I haven't seen for a little while. And I will finish there, and I wish you all a really good, happy, positive week. Had a great morning, says Steve. Goddess Ganja Nana, your mama, says great. Stitching It Up, Capturing Country Life, says thank you, bye all. Great show, says Ganja Nana. And there's the link from Steve. So I will see you hopefully back here same time on Wednesday. That would be appreciated. And until then, as always, Meraki.